Good morning, stampers. So we are going to try this again. I actually did this live video yesterday on Monday, and the whole thing was sideways. I am so sorry about that. So I'm going to do it again, and then I'm going to actually delete that other one. This is a lot easier to follow this way. We are going to make this card, and actually I made it originally as a Mother's Day card, but we are now going to make it as a birthday card. I'm going to show you how to make this collar fold, and it's embossed with the Meadow Moments Embossing folder. And I just think it's beautiful. I think, whether it's a Mother's Day or a birthday card, anybody would be happy to have that. I mean, just love the colors, don't you? And then there's the inside. You mean the world to me. So let's get started. As you can see, these are some of the components. I've used the Hydrangea Haven stamp set for this card. The sentiments come from Timeless Tulips, whether you use the Mother's Day or the Happy Birthday. And the inside sentiment actually comes from Well Said. And this is retiring. It's so sad. It's retiring. This You Mean the World to Me. It's got some great sentiments. So grab it quickly if it's something that you want to have in your stash. The die we're going to use is also from the Hydrangea Haven set, and the Meadow Moments Embossing folder. All right, let's get started. Put those out of the way. You will need the following papers. Our card base is cut at 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. It's just your standard card base, thick basic white. The first layer is Old Olive. It's cut at 5 1/4 by 4. The next layer is the Hydrangea Hill Designer Series paper. It's cut at 5 by 3 3/4. This is what we're going to make that collar fold out of. Need about 18 inches of ribbon, maybe less. And then this is also from the Hydrangea Hill Designer Series paper, 3/4 inch by 4 1/4 inches. And then some scrap. I used this Seaside Spray, one of my favorite colors that is retiring. So sad. Some more scrap for Old Olive and a piece of basic white. And we use the punch to take care of those. So the first thing I always like to do is to start by stamping. So I'm going to stamp the interior of my card. If I mess up, then I can start over very easily. So to do the interior, I'm using, this is gray granite. It's a nice light gray. I think it complements the Highland Heather well. And I'm just going to do some accents like that. And then I'm going to lie this here, because this is where I'm going to put it in my page. And I want to be able to see, because I'm going to add, I want this flower to just be peeking up a little bit. So there we go. And then that will attach there. And then I'm going to use some Highland Heather to fill in. This is nice and easy. The stamp set has this this piece here. Oh, and you know what I'm going to need? I'm going to need a Stampin' Pierce mat. For the fine layers of this stamp, it's really not an issue. I get a good impression. But when you've got a solid stamp like this where there's a lot going on, it's really hard to get a good impression. So I am stamping off. I did that off camera, sorry, but I didn't bring a piece of scrap paper here. So I stamped off. I just recently juiced up this Highland Heather ink pad, and it's really, really dark if I don't stamp it off. So there you go. And then my sentiment on the interior, I'm going to use Old Olive. Again, just using all the same colors that I did that are in that Designer Series paper. It's so easy to choose with Stampin' Up! Because the papers, those colors coordinate so beautifully. And I tested this before I stamped it earlier, and it runs very true to size. It lines up really well. There we go. All right. So the next, so that's the inside of our card, all stamped. And then I'm going to use we're going to stamp the sentiment. That's the only thing we're stamping on the outside. So I've got the happy birthday, which is not here. The happy, oh, here it is. Okay, happy Mother's Day. We'll do the happy Mother's Day again. Let's see. Happy birthday in here? Yes, I'm going to take the happy birthday out and switch it with the happy Mother's Day. How do you mount your stamps? I just lay them there. I do like to try and get it straight on the block just because I find it lines up better for me, but not such a big deal when you're actually using a punch, is it? Because you can get it straight. There we go. There's the happy birthday. All right, and so now my sentiment, I'm going to line that up. I like to use a longer piece than I need so that I can hold it in the punch. And then, I don't know if you can see that, I am lining it up and then I squeeze it just a little bit to kind of hold it. And then I use my two hands to punch that out. Sometimes you have to actually have it on the table, but this one's pretty easy. And then for this oval, I always want to make sure, you got to really check your corners. Look all the way around. Make sure that you're not missing any spots. Don't you just love that? They work very well together. Very easy to do. All right. Next thing we're going to do is assemble our card. Is this so easy or what? Oh no, I forgot. We have to create the color fold, right? So our stamping is done. I'll put that off to the side and let's go ahead and create this color fold. All right, so this is my designer series paper. As you can see, move that over. And what I did was I created a template for the students in my class. I find it's a lot easier. And then I've got this. So the next time I want to make a color fold with other pieces of designer series paper or do something, it could be this way, or it could be this way. Anyway, I'm all set. So as I said, it's 3 3/4 by 5. And then I'm going to cut halfway down between 2 1/2. I'm going to cut a line and we're going to go into 1 1/4. And then we're going to fold on those lines. So what I can do is, I could certainly measure it, but I found that I could actually just really make it really easy for myself. Just line it up, make sure it's straight, and then just go ahead and cut to that 1 1/4 inch. There we go. Voila. Nice and easy. And then I'm going to use my bone folder and I'm going to create a crease right here. Look at that. And then you get to see both sides of this lovely designer series paper. That's one of my favorite things about this color fold card. Sometimes it's hard to decide which side of the designer series paper I want to use. I hate to cover it up. All right, so I'm just kind of folding it again. I don't want a real strict crease because I'm going to I want that to, let me see how that kind of is up a little bit. There we go. All right. And then all I need to do is to take my glue dots. I'm going to put one on each little corner of this fold, and then fold it over. There we go. All right, and I think this is the last thing I need to do, is we need to emboss this piece of this first card layer. So the Meadow Moments Embossing folder does not, it's a little smaller than my cardstock. I'm going to want the embossing on the right side of the cardstock. So I'm going to turn this over and make sure that I line it up. I'm actually going to line it up this way. I think you can see that. I'm trying to make sure that I've got it all the way to the edge because you are going to see that edge. I mean, and I could even bring it in a little bit. It wouldn't matter. But of course, I like to be precise. And then I'm going to take this and run it through, make sure it's kind of straight. And I'm going to run it through the Big Boss, the Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. And of course, I did that before y'all got here. So here is our layer. Isn't that just so pretty? And of course, this side's going to be covered up, so it won't really matter. Now, before I layer this on my card base, I'm going to go ahead and finish the inside of the card base. I'm ready to do all my gluing now. So this is very straightforward. Just going to use a little liquid glue. You know, use whatever you are most comfortable with, whatever adhesive is your choice. You know, people, I find that people kind of develop a love for an adhesive, and then, you know, they use that consistently. And I really love the liquid adhesive. It gives me a little bit of wiggle room. Okay, so our ribbon is going to go on this layer, so I need to do that before I attach it to my card base. But I want to make sure that I attach it right in the middle here. So I'm just using that as a guide for myself. Now, in order to kind of maximize or minimize the amount of ribbon that I'm going to use, I'm going to create my bow first. In our original card, I did this in 2 pieces. So I had the ribbon go around the card base, and then I added the bow. It's difficult, I think, to tie the bow when the ribbon, you know, when it's and the ribbon at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and like that. We'll see if it needs to be adjusted when I get it all together. So this piece is just going to go around the card. I think the best adhesive to attach ribbon is definitely a glue dot. So as you can see, I've kind of got that all lined up, so I know where my center is. So I'm going to just lay that down, bring that around, and then I'm just going to take that, grab another glue dot, put it back, there we go. Okay, next I'm going to put it all together. So if you like these videos that I bring to you, try and bring them at least once a week. I do that Make It Monday, although like I said, my original Make It Monday, I had a little snafu, so I'm bringing you another one. Follow my page. If you're seeing this on YouTube, you can like the video, I would appreciate that, and hit the subscribe button, and then you'll get notified when I bring additional videos to you. And I try and always have some kind of a technique, something unusual, something new for you to learn when you make your card. Okay, so that is our card base. Let's go ahead and attach that, or our card front, excuse me, attach to the base. A little extra glue on the ribbon so that it doesn't come out. And there we go. Give it a little extra back rub. Make sure it's all lined up. All right, so this bow is going to run here. I need to put my sentiment together. And we are almost done. I hope you don't mind. I'm not trying to race through this, but I'd like to keep these videos short and sweet for you. You know, we're all busy. Okay, here we go. A couple of dimensionals on the back of that. And, oops, that one didn't come off. I'm going to line that one up right there. And then, I might make that bow a little bit smaller. Cut that tail. I think I'm going to cut the tail the other way. Do you have a preference which way your tails go? I think as long as they're the same. on either side. It doesn't really matter to me. Okay, one more glue dot. And there we go. There's the bow. Now, that's pretty, but let's add a little bling. So I have these 3 little flowers. They, and I'm going to add some pearls. As I showed you that die that comes with the Hydrangea Haven. That's what cuts out several of these little flowers. And so I have 3 of them, and I'm going to show you a little secret to giving them a little dimension. I'm going to bring my Stampin' Pierce mat back in here and put my flowers there. And you can use the end of your Take Your Pick tool, kind of just give a little push. Can you see how that lets that flower, gives it a little dimension? So pretty. And I am going to attach those to my card. Let's see. We will attach maybe one there. What did I do? I think that my glue dot didn't come up with it. There we go. Okay, one there. And then another one. I think, you know what, I'm going to put it there. If I put the, oh my goodness. Some days are just like that, aren't they? There we go. Since that paper is blue, I don't want to put it on top of the other blue hydrangea. You won't see it. All right. And this time, let's go ahead and pick up that and attach it that way. All right, and then I'm going to add a pearl. Again, using my Take Your Pick tool. Just add a little bit of pearl right in the center there. Isn't that pretty? And as I said, you can do this as a Mother's Day card, a birthday card. You know, spring is just, and early summer is just such a great time to have these hydrangeas. And voila, all done. So as you can see, this paper is a little different from this one, the first one that I did, but they both showcase the beautiful backside of those papers. I just love those, love the colors. I think anybody would be really happy to get that. So if you like what you see, I am Linda Edwards with Crafty Heron Designs. Would love to have you join me for more videos, and I hope you have a great week. Until next week, happy stamping. Bye.